Okay, so let's start right now. I have managed to present you a couple slides and information about a big issue within the organization about the digital skills gap, and I will share with you some tips how to manage it and how to ensure that your workforce is always up to date using technology on a day-to-day basis, and you will see that those technologies, are really changing very fast. Um, just quickly about myself. So I'm Xavier. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Vodeclic. As I said, Vodeclic is an enterprise learning solution for desktop and collaborative skills. I've been working in this business environment for 15 years, working all those kinds of issues about digital divide, whether in the education landscape or in the business organization. So today our agenda is divided, in three topics. Why digital transformation, a new era for learning and development teams? I've taken a look at all the attendees or the attendees list, and many of you are in the learning and development environment, plus IT people, working in desktop or on migration project. The second topic is why should you take care of the digital skill gap now? Because the way digital skills were looking, a few years ago, and how does it look like right now, and how is it going to move within the next 2 to 5 years is really something important. And third thing, probably the most important one, is how to improve with this situation. So first of all, I want to share with you what really I believe about cloud computing. Which cloud computing client is king, but the king is the user. And this is something that is dramatically changing within the organization. 5 years ago, your IT department was buying PCs, software, tools, etc., etc. Now all those technologies they are moving within the cloud. Most of them will be used, all of them within the 5 to 10 years will be used in your browser, whatever the browser you're using. And then the question is quite simple. It's a matter of, do I use it or am I not using it? If you want your employee to use a solution, this solution will have to be, from a user experience, beautiful, from a feature standpoint, really deep and productive. So at one moment, if your user, your employee, just dislike what you have bought or what you're proposing in terms of tools, they won't like it. So at what moment, even if you are buying some learning features, if you are buying some LMSs, if you are buying some content in around the skills, whatever skills, even if today we are talking about digital skills, your employee won't use it. And it's a major game changer within the organization. And it's just the new era because it won't come back, it won't change, it will go even faster. And I will share with you some data about that. Let's see now what is really the digital skills panorama. Uh, some of you might have already downloaded our white paper called Wake Up to the Digital Skills Gap. And the one that did not do it, you can just go on vodeclic.com on the homepage and just click on the bottom left side. You can download our white paper. This white paper, we got a bunch of others, and in this white paper we share many research and data from anywhere in the world, and they just go all of them in the same way. 1/3 of the US labor force only feel confident with the digital skills. And the important thing about those two first data, second one, is that 47 of the European labor force don't feel confident. So let's put it in another way. 1/3 in the US believe they feel confident, and 53% in Europe feel confident. And the word that is important is feel. They feel. And who are they? It's the US workforce, the European workforce, but we have some data in Asia, In India, it just says exactly the same thing. I'm a worker. You are a worker. You are in the workforce of your organization. We all feel at one moment, and this moment can be once a week, once a month, but we share even more information in this white paper. It's 5 hours of working that you are losing every month using technology. So feeling uncomfortable using technology is a big issue for any organization, and this webinar is here to make sure that you understand the situation. Third bullet point, knowledge is doubling every year. It's a kind of Moore law. Something you know today with technology will be useless the next year. Even if those digital skills have a half-life of 2.5 years, it's gonna change. Some of you are probably using cloud-based desktop application like Google Apps or Office 365, or maybe for your CRM, Salesforce, or CRM Dynamics from Microsoft. Maybe you're having a corporate social network within your organization like Jive or Yammer or Chatter. All those technologies are online and are changing at a pace much faster than 2.5 years. And finally, when I mention more than 5 hours a month lost by every employee, I make it an average of one working day. So anytime one of your employee doesn't know how to do something, he's looking for a solution, maybe browse the web, maybe he's looking for some personal information, he's asking his buddy in the same open space where he's working. All this is a waste of time, a waste of productivity, and a waste of money. So to understand deeply why this issue is something now that is becoming a lot more important than in the past, let's go and see why a new era has begun. The first thing is that we all are the sons of the Cro-Magnon million years ago. But the Cro-Magnon in IT, who is this person? This person is us 20 to 25 years ago when we discovered the first desktop application we had to work with. But now everybody is using technology. You have, let's take an example, 220 million people using technology on a day-to-day basis in the US. You have 2 billion people worldwide using technology on a day-to-day basis. In France, where our headquarters is, even if Vodeclic in the US is based in New York, but the headquarters of the company is based in France, you have 40 million people working with technology on a day-to-day basis in France. It's so huge. All these people now know how to work with those technology. So the way we treat them, the way we manage their skills, it's just totally different. Second point is the rapid expansion of cloud software use. Who knew 5 years ago what was Google Apps? Who knew 5 years ago what was Office 365? Who knew 5 years ago what was Yammer? Yammer did not exist, Jive did not exist. Basecamp was only a startup. All those softwares are just shifting and moving to the cloud. And cloud is something that is really different than using a PC or Mac, as you are all used to. It's just that the software is not anymore on premise, on your device. You just use it in the cloud. Third thing is to bring your own device policy and increasing IT consumerization. Probably, maybe not, your organization are allowing you to use your personal devices and softwares within your organization. Some of them might, some of them won't. I think it's something that is going to be massive, probably in large organization like in banking, insurance, and etc. etc. Maybe it's seen as something too dangerous right now, but the reality is that in your bag or on your table. You have your tablet or your phablet or your mobile, and you're able to do anything you want. And this has an impact on the way you work, and this has an impact on the way learning managers, are providing you the resources, the training that you can expect. Fourth thing is the exponential growth of in Office application. If we take a look at Microsoft Office, that probably most of you guys are using on a day-to-day basis, Office 2000 was including four softwares: Office, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and Outlook. If you take a look at Office 2013 and even more Office 365, now you have on top of those four, you have Yammer, you have Skype for Business, which was linked previously. You have OneDrive. You're going to have Sway, a new kind of PowerPoint that will be provided within the next months by Microsoft. You have Office for iPad, which is totally different in terms of user experience on your tablet, etc., etc. It's just totally different. Plus, you can use with Office 365 the online version of those software, which are from the feature standpoint different also from the other one. So the amount of Office application that you're using is not made of 3 software like 10 years ago with 10 features, which at the end of the day you need to know 30 skills. Now you have dozens of softwares or devices or online services that you're using every day. And with so many things to do, you have hundreds of skills to be aware of. And finally, as I said earlier, there are 2 billion new technology users worldwide. And if, I took a look at the attendee list, and what I can see is we have some learning and development people working in large global corporate organization with dozens of thousands of employees. They are based anywhere in the world. So how do you address the learning needs of those employees when they are, in Asia, in Europe, in the US, in South America, etc., etc., etc. But this era, you need to see it now from a more, easy way to understand. There is a before and an after. Let's imagine you're all learning managers. Before it was quite simple. You were working in an organization, let's say with 2,000, let's say 1,000 employees, and there are 1,000 PC with 1,000 license of Windows and with 1,000 license of Microsoft Office. The ecosystem was quite simple, and it was, even if there were a lot of work to do, it was quite simple to address the training needs, the learning needs in terms of desktop application training of those employees. Unfortunately, from now, the ecosystems within your organization, whether your CIO decided to go towards bring your own device or not, it's just the ecosystem of softwares, online tools, web services, cloud apps, etc., that your employee are using is just totally different. It's just, a kind of, beautiful design of so many colors with so many softwares that the way you're going to address the needs of your employees will have to be totally different than what you've been used to before. Third thing about this new era is that the frequency of change it is totally different from now on. This is just a simple way that is, from the top to the bottom. It's just telling you that almost 3 years ago, we were able to say that the desktop application, the desktop tools or the office tools in your organization are changing every 5 years. So let's say you change in 2010, nothing's going to change for your employees. and your workforce before 2015. But this is the old world. This is the world of on-premise software. We buy a PC, there is a software on it, and then we shift it every 5 years to a new one. Now everything is going a lot faster. And I think this, this curve, or this frequency curve, I could have done it differently to go even faster. So cloud services are just changing a lot more, a lot faster, faster and faster and faster and faster. So instead of having your organization, quite simple with one ecosystem, you understood now that you have several different ecosystems and they are changing faster. And why are they changing faster? It's just because at the moment your organization is using cloud-based service. It's not anymore your CIO that decides to shift from one solution to another. It's the software editors that decide that. So it's the Microsoft, it's the Apple, it's the Adobe, Salesforce, Google. These are the 5 main software editors in terms of Office application. They decide to change something, they're going to change it. And you won't be able to fight against that. There's nothing to do. They decided to change it one day. Any of your employee, you, me, we're going to log in on their solution and it will have changed. So let's think of how are you going to manage the skills that your employee need. There is something new you were not aware of. It's not a 5-year plan. It's a 1-year plan. It's a 6-month plan. It's a quarter plan. It goes so fast that you need to change your mindset on how you're going to do that. Last thing about this new era. This is a totally fake example, just to imagine that within your organization, your staff in the US is using iWork, and then in South America, they are using Office Mac, Office 27 in the EMEA region, etc., etc. What I want to show you here, if we take now a large organization, let's say 50,000 employees worldwide, it's almost impossible to have the same Office tool used by those employees anywhere in the world. It just means that some of your employees in the US will use a tool 1. In this example, iWork. In Australia, they will use LibreOffice. And in Europe, they will use Office 2013. But with the cloud, with your future, our future, the future of your organization, the future of the digital skills needs, this is what's going to happen. You will have the choice. These are 2 examples, Office 365 or Google Apps. You have some others. You have IBM Connections. You have some, one of the startups from the Silicon Valley, Box.net, that has a Box Notes product they are trying to launch in the marketplace. But now, for the first time, as a learning and development manager in charge of all the workforce worldwide, you will also be in a position to address the same training information, the same training content to any of your employees in the world, because they are using exactly the same technology from one country on the globe versus another one. So even in this new era, I try to share with you that is just changing and dramatically changing, and is gonna dramatically change just next year, 2015. Next week is Christmas, and next week is 2015. With this new era that's gonna, arrive within your organization. Even though, let's share some data. In this situation, we all know that organizations are getting more and more digital. I'm sharing with you on a 20 years period the IT spend of the US investment within the organization. This is from a study from McKinsey, and the IT spend went from 35% of all the investment to 47%. This means that $1 out of two is going into the IT spending. And this increase, of investment is definitely something that has a link with the digital transformation that probably all your organization are going through. And the question about digital transformation is quite simple. Even if your CIO decide to invest more money on software, on devices, on consulting, on organization, the reality is if your workforce is underskilled using technology, all this investment will be worthless. But even if this situation is true, organizations are spending more money investment. There is a new era about technology. The surprising thing is that the desktop skill spending have decreased during the last 8 years. Those data are coming from the corporate learning fact books that maybe some of you are accessing, from Bursin by Deloitte. And then the spending, went from 23% of the spending in all learning to 8%. Why 8%? Because the last Romanian people were, targeted, and now everybody is well known, everybody is using technology, etc., etc. But the reality is that in 25 there is nothing about cloud, and cloud is a real game changer, and it's going to change so fast, as I said, with so on so many topics that you need to change the way you address those learning needs. So, to me, you have four challenges to tackle. The first one is digital transformation. Whatever the industry you're working in, you can be in the consulting, you can be in the retail environment, you can be in the travel space, you can be in the insurance, you can be in so many, you can be in transportation, you can be in so many environments. Digital transformation is something major, and it has an impact for every single person within your organization. Second thing is maybe probably more for large to global corporation. It's about the digital university. I mean, so many organizations launched a business university for their employee, but at one moment, a university is a place. It's in a city. It's somewhere in the world. With cloud, with all this technology that is going so fast, there are so many ways to address any learning needs of your employees just online, anywhere, anyhow, on any topic. So we see here in a marketplace with some large corporate accounts, some of our customers like L'Oreal, the number one, in cosmetics worldwide, like Thales, one of the major military and communication organization in the world with 72,000 employees. They definitely believe, in building a large and massive digital corporate universities to ensure they can, match the learning needs of anybody in their organization. The third thing is the desktop application migration projects. It's quite simple. If I take a few figures from Microsoft, there are still 25% of the SMB organization in the world that are still using Windows XP. If you're using Windows XP, you're using an operating system that is 10 years old. So the day you're going to change, everything is going to change for your users. User experience, features, design, functionalities, etc., etc. It's going to be a massive change. But probably, and on this on this side, you can also download another white paper that we have produced a while ago about Office 365 migration projects, where we just demonstrate how CIOs and HR needs to work side by side to ensure the success of those migration. And the fourth point is train more with less money. It's just obvious, with the, I would say, the worldwide, situation. Uh, we are all, even my company, we are trying to do more with less money. We are trying to invest. We are trying to train people where we can be more productive, to gain market share, to generate revenue, etc., etc., etc. So what I want to do now is to, and I see we get the first, some first questions. I want to share with you a first poll. So it's the first time we are using this functionality on GoToWebinar. Let me share with you. Here we go. So you should see on your screen this first poll. Which of these challenges do you think is the biggest for your organization? A is digital transformation, B, digital corporate universities, C, software application migration projects. So I got 31% of the people that has voted. I'm sure 38%, come on. We are several dozens. Come on, let's take 20 seconds again. 46%. I will stop only this poll with 75% of you guys that have voted. 54, 62, a little more, come on, some more voters, so we can have some the most appropriate data and the more accurate ones. Yes, a little more. Okay, I'm gonna close the poll, so you should see we made some tests. We need to learn also. You should see on your screen that 63% of the people that voted believe the first challenge, it's a big score, is digital transformation. Second, 25% is digital corporate universities. And third point is software application migration. This is we are used to share this poll with during our webinars. And by the way, just as a reminder, we have two other webinars, our two next webinars in January 2015. The first one is on January the 15th, 2015. It's a product demo. It's where we're going to show all the features of our solution from our library in various languages, including social learning features, all the reporting, the APIs, etc., etc. So we will send some invite if you are interested within a couple of days. So January 15, it's about the demo of the Vodeclic solution. And then on Thursday, January 29, we're doing a webinar about the corporate MOOC that you could call Cook, and it is deeply linked to the to our white paper that we have produced 8 months ago, about which was entitled "Dare Your Corporate MOOC," and I believe MOOCs are something really trendy and important within your organization. Let's keep on now with some verbatims I want to share with you that I see in the marketplace every day. Me or my team, my sales team, see in the marketplace. Just the first 5, because we hear so many interesting things when we meet customers. The first thing is regarding digital skills. Again, they will get used to this new environment. So we still have people that believe that change is not a big deal and they will get used to. Well, they will get used to, but first thing is, I don't know, how long does it gonna take to get used to that? So if it takes weeks or months, it's gonna cost the organization a huge amount of money. And the problem is that this new environment, in fact, is gonna change so fast that they will never get used to. And the problem, if your employee are never used to the technology they have to manage every day, they will be underproductive. and they will cost you more money than what you believe and what you expect. And it will have an impact, whether on your revenue, whether on your EBITDA, whether on your performance. Second thing is, yes, but come on, I understand what you said, but training costs too much. Okay, maybe instructor-led costs too much. Okay, but if you are trying or already using online or computer-based training solution, you will figure out that it doesn't cost that much. And in fact, you have a great way to train a lot more people with a lot less budget. And I was mentioning before an example with a company with 1,000 employees, but believe it or not, but if your company wants to access the Vodeclic solution with our library, with all the content, with all the integration within your LMS, or with all our APIs, and with a huge library of 22,000 courses on about 300 software and apps, for 1,000 users, it only costs $25,000 per year. $25 per user per year. Any of your employee can access this anytime, anywhere, on any device, just to learn what they have to learn. Third thing is, help desk team will handle it. Quite frankly, I don't know. I've taken a look at the attendee list, but I don't know how are your organization managing the help desk team, the help desk, and the support for your staff. But I barely don't see any organization that are taking care of what people are doing with their software or devices. They are just taking care of the security. They're taking care of the patches. They're taking care of the storage. They're taking care of the printers. But they are not taking care of what the employee is doing. That's the learning and development job. Fourth, my team is using the same technology at home. Maybe your organization are going to shift to Office 2013 one day. Well, they have probably bought an Office 2013 license at Best Buy. They don't need anything from us. Is this a serious way to manage the skills of your employee and to make sure that they are on a visible roadmap to ensure that they are going to improve and increase their skills using technologies? This is something that doesn't work, but we hear it in the marketplace. And the fifth thing that has probably linked with the budget is they don't need anything. And one thing is important about they don't need anything is that when we make some studies about the users, what we hear and understand is that most of the people don't want to say that they are having a hard time using technology. They don't want to say, yeah, hey boss, I need a course on Excel because I can't succeed doing that, etc., etc. Most of the people believe that it's common for everybody to think that everybody is fluent using technology. I've shared with you some data, and again, download our white paper. You will be so surprised. This is why we brand this white paper, Wake Up to the Digital Skills Gap, because the reality is people are not feeling comfortable, but they don't want to tell you that they are having a hard time, but they have so many things. Let me go through an additional poll right now, because we got some great results at the first time. Here we go. I'm launching it. The question is, how are you dealing with the digital skills gap in your organization? First answer is instructor-led. Second answer is online methods with no instructor. Third response is virtual classroom, instructor from remote location. So we have 38% of voters. We're going to take 1 minute, so we're already through for 30 seconds. So we got 30 seconds left to make sure that we get at least 68% of voters, which were the amount of voters that we had at the previous poll. 46%. Come on, we got 15 seconds more. 54%, 58, 59. Come on, we got 3 seconds more. Any more voters? Okay, I'm going to stop the poll right now. Hold on a second. Here we go. So let's share those data with you. 25% instructor-led, 25% online method with no instructor, 50% with virtual classroom. Well, this means that we got a lot of work to do with Vodeclic because 75% believe that you need an instructor to get some help. This is something interesting, and I'm going to react on that. I think day-to-day technology has something very important with the idea of on-the-job learning. So it is when you are trying to do something on Word, on Salesforce, on Basecamp, on Yammer, on WebEx, on whatever you use on a day-to-day basis. It's when you are trying to do it. And if you have an issue, if you don't know how to do it, it's at this moment that you need a solution. And I definitely believe that instructor-led, however you are doing it, face-to-face or even with a virtual classroom, is not matching this issue. So at the end of this webinar, try to do a pivot table on Excel. And if you don't succeed on that, just try to have an instructor to help you on that. And you will find out that it's going to be very difficult. And within the 2 days before Christmas time next week, anytime you're having an issue using your PC, your Office application or whatever, just try to believe how am I gonna find a solution to the issue I got. And the second thing about where I don't believe the instructor is the good way to do it regarding digital skills is just because what is a skill? What is a skill? If there is something you don't know how to do, if it's very simple, if it's very short, if it's very small, then you need a small and very short and simple solution that you can access just like that on the job. It's a skill. So training in the digital workspace, can be something very simple, very short. Why? Because it's changing very fast. So you can't spend too much time trying to learn something that you need once in a while and trying to learn something that will be useless in the next quarter or in the next semester. So my vision of the performance of a company is that it's dependent on desktop application training being available to everyone, not just the one who asked for it. And this is another way to share with you the fact that instructor-led is great in so many environments. Sales, for instance. Sales is something really important. Let's take another example where I don't believe instructor is a great way to do things. It's about foreign languages. If you want to learn a foreign language, let's say you're a company in the US and you want to do business in South America or in Brazil, you need to learn Portuguese. I'm not sure it's with an instructor, face-to-face, but it's great with a virtual classroom because you're having a chat with somebody. But the online method with no instructor for a foreign language, I'm not sure it works. It's not when you're doing a conference call with somebody in Portuguese that you need to say, oh, come on, hold on a second, hold on, I need to learn something in Portuguese before I'm going to say it. So you see that sales, desktop application skills, digital skills, and foreign languages are just 3 things that are totally different. Totally different. So how to tackle this challenge? Well, the first thing is that you definitely need to have a user-centric training solution. And user-centric solution just means that you need to ask yourself, what are the true needs of my employee, and not what are the needs that you believe they need. And this is why, in terms of digital skills, bear in mind that most of the people don't want to say that they have some needs. So the first thing right here, if you can see my mouse, is just to ensure that you provide a solution where the user will find the courses that he needs, the one he believes he has some, he's underskilled, the one he's using on a day-to-day basis. But again, if your organization has shifted from a PC, Windows, Office environment to a multiple device and software environment, you won't even know what your users, what your workforce is using. But any of them know what they're using. Second thing is anybody can train at his own pace. So if you provide an instructor-led solution, then it's at the pace of the instructor, not at the pace of the learner. So how can you match both? The same pace for the learner and the instructor. Maybe there are some ways to do that, but if your organization has some employees worldwide and your instructor is based in the US and you have a request from somebody in India or in China, how are you going to handle that? You won't. You will believe that it's working, but it's working only for the US workforce, not for the worldwide one. Third thing is that I need to access my solution when I need it. And if I need it when I'm, away from my office, it has to work in the cloud, totally remotely, on any devices. Anyhow, it has to work. So to tackle the challenges that we've seen before with this new era, and to tackle the situation where softwares are changing so fast, you need to engage a relationship or to build a solution. Buy or build, it's always something to discuss within the organization. In the case you believe you gotta buy a solution, you need to ensure that first thing is the user first. First thing is that the learning features and your employee will increase their skills, and it's good for him and then good for you. So good for him means as a learner, I want to have access to what has an interest for me at my own pace and when I need it. So let me share with you 5 tips to address this skills gap. The first thing is to give access to everyone to training. Everyone, not just only the one that are asking you for something. This is something we have said with L'Oréal. As an example, all their employees in the world, there are 64, maybe 65,000 now. Anywhere in the world, they get 11,000 people in China. It's a huge multicultural company in the world that decided to open a global corporate university. This is where we provide our learning solution in 6 languages: English, French, German, Spanish and Portuguese from LATAM, and Chinese Mandarin. With those languages, we cover all the learning needs in terms of digital skills for all their employees. So provide access to everyone, not only the one that asks for it. Second thing is promote employee self-reliance. They need to take care of themselves. This is all about technology. It goes fast. They have to make some choices. It is changing it's going to change almost every day. Even if it's not going to be every day in terms, it's just an image. But self-reliance is something very important. You need to move from, I would say, a top-down situation where, as a manager or as a learning manager, you are providing content that you believe are good for your employees. Again, here I'm talking here only about digital skills. You need to go from a situation top down to bottom up. Come on, guys. Everybody in the workforce, you're in charge. So promote the employee self-reliance. Third thing is to involve the IT department. So you can see the cover of this white paper, Wake Up to the Digital Skills Gap. But as I said, we have another one regarding the Office 365 migration. I mean, HR and IT are, two, business environment that are totally different. On one hand, we are working on people, we're working on talent. These are the HR, department. And on the other side, we're talking about investments. All this is changing. And now in the future, if you want to address the digital skill gap in a great way to improve things within your organization, definitely L&D and IT department or CIOs need to work together. Fourth things is to keep up with software updates. Again, maybe your organization is today using Office 2010. Okay, so if you're using Office 2010 today, it's probably because you have migrated from Office 23 2 or 3 years ago. So this means that you're going to move to Office in the cloud, Office 365, within the 3 to 5 years. It will be your last migration. After that, probably your employee will use Office in the cloud on their browser, and your company will not be anymore in charge of those migration because Microsoft will decide when and how it is changing. So you won't be able to address the learning needs of your employee the way you are doing it in the past. So you need to keep your learning solution, your training courses with the software updates that are made in the marketplace. Fifth thing is that I'm sure you all want to plunge into digital transformation. You want to push your company and your organization in the future, in this digital future. If you want to do that, you need to start or to shift your training methods to a cloud-based learning methods. You won't be able to match the pace. It's going to be so fast how things are going to change. You won't be able to match the learning needs of your organization with instructor-led solution. Let's go through a third poll, if you don't mind. And I'm going to use again the tool. Here we go. Which of those 5 tips would you most likely deploy in your organization? And I would like to have more than 60, 65 answers. The first answer is give everyone access to training. B, promote employee self-reliance. C, involve the IT department. D, keep up with software updates. E, cloud learning for cloud softwares. We are only at 23%, 31%. We got 30 seconds left. Come on, I believe you have some answers. I believe only one choice, 38%, 46%. 15 seconds left. 54, 56. Come on, 1 more, 2 more, 3 more, 10 more. 5 seconds left. Okay, I'm going to close the poll. Here we are. Let's share those data together. 13% give everyone access to training. 38% promote employee self-reliance, involve the IT department, keep up with software updates, cloud learning. Well, it's quite different than the previous time I've done it. Before that, the first answer was give everyone access to training, followed very shortly by promote employee self-reliance. And I would say quite a surprise is keep up with software updates. Usually it's something slightly too new. I think the interesting thing is that with this poll and the other one with exactly the same question and answer I provided a while ago is that promoting employee self-reliance is something really important. And I believe that in these answers there is something that has a link with the impressive growth of MOOC initiatives that we see within the organization. So for sure you will be interested in our next webinar late January, January 29, about your corporate MOOC, what we could call Cook, and to see how you can build that within your organization. This was our last poll, and let me share with you some few information before we start the Q&A about our solution, which is in fact something very close from a corporate MOOC. Why is that? Because our goal is to help organizations just to build and grow and enhance the digital skills of all the employees. And so our solution is based in the cloud, and we have huge library of courses on desktop software and web apps. Our solution cover all your learning needs in the US and in most of the European countries, including your needs in South America, in the English-speaking countries, Portuguese like Brazil, and also the Far East in Asia with the Chinese Mandarin. Our library covers more than 20,000 bite-sized models on almost 300 software and web apps, and we produce in our production studios up to 1,000 new modules a month. This is made with our staff, with our learning teams, and here's something very important for you, that we control all the IP from the solution to the content. It's all produced in-house. But our solution is not made of a library. We provide some exercises, some assessments, and some learning tools also. So from the user standpoint, you have access to great design, great user experience, everything in HTML5, where people will quickly improve their skills in terms of technology. But at the end of the day, even if I said, and I believe the user is the king at one moment, you in the learning department, in the HR department, are the people that are paying bills, and what you want are some business features that we also provide with our tool, which are analytics, e-tutoring, help desk. We have also launched last month a social learning feature where every learner can be a trainer. And last thing about our product is we have built many APIs that enable us to integrate our solution in all the LMS in the marketplace. It can be CSOD, it can be SumTotal, it can be Cross Knowledge, it can be Moodle, but also we have deployed some other integration when there are no LMS, or just because we can do better with some integration with Google Apps, with Salesforce, with Office 365, etc., etc. And we have a portfolio of customers that believe in our solution with our massive growth in terms of revenue those last year. And I'm proud to tell you that we've been listed in the as the 105 fastest growing company by Deloitte in the EMEA region, and our revenue has grown up to 1,500% those last 5 years, and we have some customers like L'Oreal, Siemens, Chubb that are using our technology on a worldwide basis. And our last great deal that we've done is we've been chosen by Total. Total is one of the largest company in the world in terms of revenue. It's one of the leader in the oil and energy environment, and they have chosen us for as a corporate deal to be used by all their employees in the world to make sure that they are improving their collaborative skills and desktop application skills. I'm sure you know this webinar is not meant to promote our product. It's just to share with you some insights. So now let's go. We got 3 minutes left. That was a little too long. Let's go through the questions. We got plenty of them. Okay. Why do you, okay, we have a question about Office 365 and Google Apps. Why do you believe Office 365 and Google Apps will replace all the software tools that are used within the organization? Well, it was an example. I wanted to share that Office 365 from Microsoft and Google Apps are the two almost only cloud-based Office application. So I don't know in your organization, when I say your organization, it's about the person that asked the question. I don't know which Office application you're using. Maybe I would believe, as an example, Office 2010. Within the next years, your company, like most of the other companies, are going to move to a cloud-based Office suite. So it's probably going to be Office 365 or Google Apps, but it's not my point to say one is better than the other. It's not my point to promote one way or another. I'm just saying that we have a full library of courses on those two softwares in all languages, Office 365 or Google Apps. We got another question about integration and the LMS. Okay, so do we use the SCORM standard? Yes, we do. So when our customers have deployed an LMS, we provide them some SCORM packages with the SCORM 1.2 standard. We can do simple SCO or multi-SCO, so we can provide many things. What we don't provide is we don't deliver our content within the LMS. We just make sure that through the LMS as a single access of identification, which is one of the great features of an LMS. It's a kind of one-stop shopping of learning. Your employee will be able to access our solution within the LMS through a SCORM package. And we do so because we believe with the infrastructure that we have built that we have a user experience, we have some SLA that are at the top of the best of breed of the industry, and this is the way we provide our solution. So I was taking some example before, but for instance, with Chubb and Son we use CSOD, with L'Oreal we use Cross Knowledge Learning Suite, etc., etc. So we have many customers embedded where our content, our solution is embedded in an LMS. I'm going to take one last questions. Okay, let's see. Okay, how do we build our library? Well, as I said, it's a differentiator in the marketplace. We build our content in-house. We don't buy it. We are not using a marketplace. We have a learning team with 7 different nationalities that are building content in US English, in German, in French, in Portuguese, in Spanish, in Chinese Mandarin. Probably within Probably next year we're going to open some additional languages. Our goal is quite simple. We want to provide you the best of breed solution in the marketplace and ensure we can match your needs anywhere in the world, not only in the US, but also in the US, in English, in Chinese Mandarin, and Spanish. Okay, it's 3 past 2 p.m. Eastern Time. We spent 1 hour together. I want to thank you for being with us. I want to tell you again that we have 2 additional webinars in January. On January 15th for a demo of our solution, and January 29th about Dare Your Corporate MOOC. Do not hesitate to contact us if you have any needs or something where you want to succeed your digital transformation. I'll be happy, me and my team, to share some additional features about our solution to provide you some access to our solution. So do not hesitate to call us in New York, 646-741-0200, or send us an email, us.sales@vodeclic.com. And for sure, if you want to write to me personally, you can do it. Xavier, Xavier.Sillon, Sillon @vodeclic.com. Thanks a lot for your time. Have a great Christmas time and a great Happy New Year. And I wish to see you and hope to see you and discuss more of your learning needs next year, 2015.